going on, guys? This is another episode of Making the Magic.
Magic.
Are brewing magic.
Jonah just goes,
Things are so rotten in the state of Denmark. Yeah, so this is the post episode for episode 13. If you are listening, thank you for subscriing to our Patreon.
we love
thank you very much.
Or this could be the episode that we actually post on our live feed
In
as,
that
a little,
case,
as a little teaser.
We don't love you.
Oh my god.
No, seriously, if you're taking the time out of your day to listen to this, we do genuinely
No,
love
we love you. We love you a lot.
Oh my god. You just
for
gotta
yourself.
kiss.
We just kissed.
Kiss ASMR like we're fucking YouTubers. Hi, honey.
I think we have to start with our
No one will subscribe to our Patreon if we do this.
Wow, I pay $5 a month for my ears to get assaulted. Good lord. Are we going to start with most surprising moment and then best moment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I'll do a peek behind the screen. There were two scenes that were recorded and the recording got deleted, so we re-recorded them right after. So they were slightly different. And my most surprising moment is in the second re-record when me and Jonah were like, oh, this is definitely a themed party, right?
That was so funny.
It was the best change that happened.
Because when we did it previously, we're like, yeah, let's just dress up kind of cute and like popular kids. It'll be great. And this time we're like, there's got to be a theme. Like, we're going to need to guess it. And the fact that primal fear were the words that came out of my mouth, fucking
And you
bonkers.
didn't change. You could have had time to be like, oh, no, I want to pick this instead.
No,
You're like, nah,
yeah.
Primal Fear, locked and loaded,
Well,
baby.
I switched to Breakfast Club, and then Ted was like, that doesn't really work for you. And Parker's like, okay.
It's not that it doesn't work, it's just already what you wear all the time.
That's very true,
For
though.
the goth girl in Breakfast Club?
Yes! She wears 80 layers of shit and
But
long
this
skirts.
time they're in black.
You said they were
difference.
black before, I'm pretty sure.
No, they were always in like grandma colors, like earth tones.
Grandma colors.
Like sun pale purple.
Yeah, like pastel pink
Yeah.
and like some earth tones, like
Okay.
cream.
So that was the...
That was my most surprising moment, was the fact that it suddenly, for Ted and Parker, became a costume party.
What was your favorite?
I mean, my favorite moment I participated in, yeah, I liked when I was like, I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
And decided to do the keg first, and then it absolutely sucked, and then Ted saved my ass. That was fun. I liked that. Also, when Ted first backstabbed Brandon, my jaw hit the fucking floor, y'all. I was like, whoa.
My most surprising moment was probably choking that fucking Chase the Chaser game at the last moment. I thought I had that shit in the bag.
Sad day.
I thought it was
did.
mine.
Sad day.
Only lost by 4.
Damn.
4 points on the dice roll.
I rolled a 2. So ass. My favorite moment was probably Brandon's reaction to Ted becoming what he is now doing at this party.
Because it's still JV.
Yeah.
Oh, the little
God.
yeah.
The rivalry is growing deeper.
I take it back. That is also my favorite moment. And also the most surprising moment. Man, scratch everything I said.
For me, my most surprising moment's the whole fucking thing with Ted. I was not expecting him come at me like that. I kind of figured you were going to play along with that because, we had a little bit of a discussion a few episodes back, but to not expect you to try to do it on my own turf with my own friends, my own clique.
Honestly, a little earth-shattering.
Yeah, it was.
Out of all the magic shit that he's done, like, that's all impressive. But what he did then was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Ted villain arc.
Yeah.
Ted villain arc.
And my favorite moment's probably the very end with Ramsey Skinner. Because I was not expecting to see him again. And everything he said was completely valid. It made complete sense.
Fucking stole from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks when the bad guy's right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right, but he also, like, grossly glossed over the fact that he totally bullied you guys and said, like, get out of my woods, kid.
I think he did threaten us physically first.
Yeah, he did. And not to mention,
probably
he
did.
fucking brought brass knuckles. And
Then he got rocked.
Yeah, I was going to be like, hey, remember last time when you threatened us physically and then we absolutely rocked your shit? Well, I can do it again. Because I definitely did it last time.
Joke's on them, though, because the guy who brings a baseball bat to a fight always gets fucked up.
Oh, yeah, they
without
do.
fail
It's
in
always
every
an
video
NPC.
I've ever seen.
I will say this is very not close to any high school party that I went to.
I'd hope not. Good Lord. Oh, my most surprising moment was probably when Jonah was doing magic in the real world, and he rolled a 97 or 90 something,
94.
whatever it was. passed.
Why did we all
again.
remember it was a 94?
Because it was like out of all the
fucking
shit,
wild.
yeah,
All
out of all the
the
shit he could have rolled.
You guys have an 81% chance of failure at your level that you're at right now.
And we've only ever
And
passed.
you've only passed.
Well,
at
here's
level
for the
3.
very first time.
Here's the thing: I feel like, especially I guess with your character specifically, every time Ted needs to get by to make the story go a little bit like in that direction he wanted it to go, for whatever reason, the dice always make sure that he passes his check at that moment.
Sometimes it taketh, sometimes it giveth.
Yeah,
The dice gods are the real directors of this show.
they really are.
They're fucking making it work. My favorite moment, was probably, I hate for both of my favorite moments, my surprising and favorite are both Ted, but the first sentence that came out of his fucking mouth when he talked to the popular kids, and it was so just posh and lackadaisical, it was cool. Like, it was genuinely like, okay, no persuasion required. I'm convinced. Like, god damn.
This was a really good Ted episode, and also a really good Brandon episode.
This was a very like little peek behind Ted and Brandon for this one.
The rivalry does not stop.
Yeah.
And it kind of fuels both of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was
good.
interesting
I'm
because
just chilling.
Just behind the curtain, before that one audio track got deleted, we took a little break, got some dinner, and I was kind of talking to Christian.
Ooh, yeah.
And because I know what's going to happen, I knew that Ramsey was going to show up. But I'm like, what if I make this not a great time before shit hits the fan? What if I keep the tension rising, and then a new enemy shows up? So I was trying to plant the seed of like, hey, like you've had a lot of time and effort to get in high standings in this social circle, and he's gotten it in like 5 seconds. The fuck is that about? And then we just let the whole thing happen, and it came beautifully.
So did it take Brandon any time and effort to be popular? I figured he was just like born with that.
I mean, when you're on the football team, if you're kind of shit on the football team, people will
you
make
still get
fun of
shit
you.
on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You got to be good on the sports team in order to be.
Yeah, it was
cool on the
funny when
sports team.
Dustin went talk to me about it, because I was like, oh yeah, that was already in the back of my mind. I was like, this motherfucker's gonna walk in here, try to fucking outplay me in my house. You're like, nah.
And I think the funniest part is that Brandon is actually the one who enabled it, because I would have never cast the spell if Brandon hadn't told me my outfit was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny how that comes
That's
around.
so good.
Karma's a bitch.
Karma is
Motivation.
up
It backfired immensely.
Yeah. What I really loved about it, I love the dynamic between Brandon and Ted. It complements itself very well. The whole reason I went, because I was trying to be a little subtle about it, but the reason I went to go touch Ted and fucking put my hand on his shoulder was, to check if it really was his clothes or if it was an illusion. And the second it went through, I was like, kind of like got under Brandon's skin.
This asshole.
Yeah, I was like, he did it. He fucking casted magic in the real
human
world
world.
with no consequences.
I haven't even tried that.
Yeah. And as I say, and that's and it's gonna be, oh man, like this episode for sure got Brandon's blood a little heated.
I might need to heal one of y'all next episode.
Good luck.
I didn't even restock my healer's
Yeah,
kit.
I was gonna say, because we're in the human world. If you want to fight, it's got to be a regular fight.
I'm going to turn into a spider and leave.
You can try.
My concern is that my fucking thing is, because mine is physical more than it is anything else.
I will say, casting a rage does invoke the same
okay.
magic table.
I'm assuming wild shape. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
wild
all.
shape is also involved in that.
Yeah, because mine is so tied down to my emotions and playing as playing it in character. Ted for sure got under Brandon's skin. And now we got a fight going on. And now one of Brandon's friends got hurt because of Ramsey. There's a lot to unpack in the next episode for sure.
Who was your guy? I knew I threw a lot of new NPCs at you, but who was your favorite NPC?
For me, I have to say it was Hollywood.
Hollywood?
Yeah, I like the concept. I like the concept that the football player that they won't play.
Yep.
I liked Jake, the second-year senior, Jake Dixon, who is the second-year senior who also grows weed in his closet. Yeah,
He wants
he's my
to live
favorite.
off the land someday.
It's the fact that he's like, nah, dude, I get to stay because I flunked. Shit.
I want you to get more stoner kid time.
Yeah, I'm going to need to work my way in there.
I liked making their dynamic.
What about
wanna-
you, Jonah? Who do you like as an NPC?
Mine was Keg, because he was the one who bonded about being in a trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was super chill. He reminded me of some of the really chill, popular kids I've known who just like are popular because they're chill. It's like, damn, this dude's just legit.
Now, who is your least favorite NPC?
Sure.
Favorite NPC.
Give it to me.
Kim.
I was just about to say
right.
same thing.
Killed off next episode.
No.
Did not say or do anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say-
I was trying to throw it. I had a lot more NPCs that were supposed to be in this, but the more that time ran, I'm like, oh fuck, we gotta get going.
I wanted to try and engage with Kim just because I think Parker talking to a popular girl would be a different conversation than
For sure.
Parker talking to any of the guys.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I was going to talk to Kim, but then kind of we got into the little rivalry, the little testosterone fight, and I kind of got sidetracked.
I feel like you and Kim didn't date, but I feel like you might have had a thing.
Ooh,
22.
22.
Yeah.
22.
That's also an interesting point. It might have gone very differently if there were more popular girls around, because they definitely
Fair.
tend to be the ones who are like the century turrets of the popular group. The second somebody else wanders in, it's like, what the fuck are you doing here, motherfucker?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was saying this the other day off mic, but it was like in my DM's tool belt, I feel so not uncomfy, but just not as confident playing female characters because I really don't want to misconstrue anything. And I just want to play like good characters, but I don't want to play it like it's a girl. I want to play just a good character. But I feel like sometimes when I get flirty as a female character, it's like, oh, that's really like, I feel like I could play it better than I do. So I try to stay away from them.
I think Mrs. Duchansky was plenty flirty for a female character.
I was gonna say this. Sometimes, I think specifically. I mean, I'm not a DM, so I have no fucking idea. But wouldn't it be like sometimes leaning into the tropes to just start off a character and then maybe change the tropes up? Just to show this is how we're gonna introduce them. But obviously, they're not completely like that. You know?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I know for me I like to draw. When I design characters, that I also fall into that category of I'm not too comfortable drawing female characters because me as a guy, I'm not kidding, and sometimes it just feels different. Like I can automatically be like, this, I feel like me as a guy, I'm misguided to
Exactly.
At the same time, it's also like, well, there's tropes there for a reason, and they're not all good, but it could be a starting off point, and then move away from that as time goes on.
This is funny because as a genderqueer person, I was like, well, it's not hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I write both men and women and non-binary characters. And I'm like, people are people. I think for me, what it comes down to is like, there's a difference between playing a 14-year-old girl, because that is such a specific time in your life. Versus in a 14-year-old boy, it's a different high school. There are different dynamics, but I'm very much from the root of who the character is and then how their gender impacts that versus this is a girl. So let's start with a girl voice and then adjust that to get to who they are.
I guess I should rephrase. I am a lot more comfortable playing Connie, the academic, rather than Kim, the cheerleader.
Is it because you don't want to do like a valley girl, like I'm a cheerleader?
Yeah, I don't want to play into any sort of stereotype.
Yeah.
Flirt with Christian.
Come on, flirt
Fuck,
with me.
but I can flirt with my friend.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Opportunity missed.
Well, that's also, you're putting yourself in a tough spot because you're playing a popular girl in
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's not much I can do to save myself from that.
But also, I mean, people don't talk like that. Sometimes they do, but also you've got a very tricky task of having to differentiate vocally between characters.
It's very true.
Because, we can't see who we're talking to. And you just threw 16 people at us, and you're like, let me come up with 16 funny different voices.
My name is Kid.
I always have some suspension of disbelief in terms of a voice, insofar as that it has to be exaggerated, like facial expressions on the stage play, in order to get the actual tone across. So when you're in a tabletop role playing game, it's not really like an accurate representation of what that actual voice may sound like. It's more like a depiction of what the tone is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about tone.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, like the Valley Girl accent. I mean, yes, it's stereotypical, but when you talk in the Valley Girl accent, we'll know exactly who we're talking to. I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about intonation and like something that is so telling of different people isn't necessarily their actual voice, but the way that they speak. Right now, hypothetically, I'm being very specific and deliberate with the words I choose, but I cannot change my voice at all. And I can talk about like a totally different thing and kind of ramble and just kind of like say a bunch of words. And it's like my voice hasn't changed, but the way that I talk has changed. And that gives you a totally different type of character. So like you can do someone with a feminine sounding voice who's not a valley girl, but she might just have like a lot of women were trained to do an upward inflection at the end of their sentences so that people keep listening to them. And also because pretending to be less smart than you are thing, like making everything sound like a question so that men like you. And that you do without a valley girl accent. Any accent can have an upward inflection at the end of the sentence.
God, Scottish. Ugh.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, I don't come from a theater background, so this is like the first time I've heard about a lot of that.
Yeah, theater background and just like I studied gender.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like vocally, being a voice actor, I got to know my range. I'm like a born baritone, so I can go deep. I can do my regular tone, which is somewhere in the medium. And then I can go all the way up, and I'm like a little boy, but like I don't have anything that kind of is accurate for like a feminine medium tone. It just, my range skips that section. So if I have to put something on, it's got to be in my regular voice.
Yeah, I do this thing. Christian could probably tell you better than I do for most of the female characters in my games. It's just a timbre change and like a tempo change in terms of sentences.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't do much of a pitch differential in the first place. But I have had like, recently I've had a character who is a lot more like very stereotypically over communicative, so that's been fun to play with in terms of fucking rambling about a ton of shit.
I think you do a great job differentiating between, and I mean, this is just because it happens together, between Nona and the grandfather, because you're playing two people the same age and you're just changing your voice to reflect the personality.
Right.
And that's it. Like, you're not putting on an old lady voice for Nona. You're still just using an old person voice, but the way you talk changes. And it's reflective of her personality and how overbearing and or concerned she is.
Right.
So
The
I think
laid
there's a lot
back
of-
versus the helicopter.
And going from there is more, allows for more dynamics. Maybe. I don't know. What do I know?
But speaking of voices, I love the way you do Kev the Lev. I don't know what it is about it.
I forgot his voice for like the first couple things I said in him, and I was like, yeah, up here, yeah, bro. And I was kind of hoping that section was the part that got deleted, but no. So I
That's the,
re-educate myself on that.
it's the energy.
Yeah.
That's what you change for Kev the Lev.
He's just living on Red Bull. Like, no,
We're
he's
back,
living on
baby.
Monster.
We're back, baby.
We're back. From where? I don't know, but we're here, babe.
He's like, sorry, I did take a hit before I came to this party.
I feel like he's the guy where you're like, oh, you smoke weed? I really wouldn't expect that from you. Because, like, he's just so... I feel like he's a major sativa guy, if anything. Just, like, super high energy, but he's also, like, very chill.
Yeah, balances out the meth, bro.
Yeah, I think I kind of get the vibe that he's someone that everyone's like, man, Kev is so goofy. And it's like, no, he's genuinely just a little bit high all the time.
He's that one coworker that's, if they're on schedule, everything's going to be okay. If they're on the same shift as me, we're going to be fine.
And apparently he's also a simp, according to Kayla.
Yeah, I think he's in
Say
love
that.
with Brandon. I mean, maybe it's me making everything gay again.
Maybe
but
it's
like,
Maybelline.
yeah, Kev's a little bit in love with Brandon. Maybe I love a good trope.
I don't think you know how hard some of these high school bromances go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I watch a lot of anime. I mean, I kind of get it.
So I guess sometimes, like, in high school especially, you hold on to, like, one person really hard.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like a bromance there.
Also love the sidekick in love with the person they follow trope. I love that.
Okay.
I'm a
La
romance.
Brava. Looking
Yeah,
ass.
La Brava.
yeah, I fucking love La Brava, actually. La Brava kicks ass.
Gentle's like my favorite villain in
Oh,
My
me
Hero.
too.
I don't know
Really?
why. I have no idea why, but he just is. Whenever I
he's-
watch
I
him,
love
I'm like,
his
Because
style.
he's a
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah. Because he's not really a villain.
No, he's
Yeah.
a...
it's just a dude.
Okay, can I drop a manga spoiler?
Yeah.
It's not. I'm just gonna say Gentle and La Brava come back.
No way.
Yes, you get to see them again.
Yeah, baby.
That was the exact reaction I had. I was like, oh, fucking shit.
There's a song on
La
YouTube
Brava, grab the cup.
by a guy I think named Rustage or Daddy Fat Schnaps, one of the two. But they just do anime raps.
Yeah,
and
I
one
know
of them's
that guy.
Gentle Criminal.
No
and it
way.
slaps
Oh,
so hard.
Gentle
And
so
now I have an
good.
entire playlist of anime music.
Yeah, I've started
that
listening
makes
to that
me
guy.
feel like my high school self would beat up my 24-year-old. So I'm like,
See, I was talking about Kirari Umubami and Sayaka Igarashi. Sayaka Igarashi? Yeah, from Kakaguri, so the lesbians. But yeah, no, this is also Gentle Criminal and La Brava, I guess. They're cool.
It's kind of cool. Like, now you brought that up of the whole high school and yourself now. It's kind of crazy how much you've changed over the years. Because I remember back in the day, I barely let anybody know I watched anime, and now I'm wearing like fucking anime T-shirts and just brandishing it all over the place.
Sorry.
No, you go first. Mine's off topic.
I can't tell if it's because of our age or it's because of the world has changed. Because it's either anime's just become a little bit more well known and enjoyed by the general populace, or it's that people our age are more accepting to things like that.
Well, I think it's a little bit of a mixture of both. Because I also think,
Probably.
once you get older, you kind of stop caring about what other people think anyway.
Yeah.
Genuinely, to keep it on My Hero Academia, I'm going to blame My Hero Academia because it got really popular and it's everything people want from a TV show. It just happens to be anime, and I feel like it was a gateway for a lot of people.
That's
Like,
X-rated Sky High.
sure. I mean, I watched a couple shows in secret as like a middle schooler, and that was it. And then Dustin's like, you got to watch this anime. And I was like, all right, I like this guy. I'll watch his anime. And that was it for me. I was like, this is good shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I'm moving to Texas to be a voice actor. I will dedicate my life to this craft.
That's so funny because I think my gateway anime, and I didn't even know it was anime at the time, was Dragon Ball Z.
Good Sunday morning cartoon.
Yeah,
Oh, everyone want to share their first anime?
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I was going to say probably the same for me, but
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha,
Tokyo Mew Mew.
Tokyo Mew Mew.
It's a magical girl anime.
nice.
well, my first one was Dragon Ball, but that's like, mixed masked episodes, whatever's on TV. The first one I actually like watched in succession was Death Note.
Good answer.
I don't know.
Says the person with a hedgehog named Kira.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know about this. Do we consider Avatar: The Last Airbender anime? Are we gonna open that can of worms?
You know what?
Western made.
It's Western made, but it still has a stylistic anime influence.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't say it's an anime in the way that a hot dog is not a sandwich.
it's originally recorded in English, right?
Yeah.
So I would say no.
Okay,
Yeah, I
well-
would say anime would have to be originally recorded in Japanese.
Well, now that we were talking about the whole like accepting kind of it, because I will say that Avatar: The Last Airbender helped me out a lot in when I started watching it was in high school because and this is something, the little sneak peek to what I want to do. This is something that I kind of want to do with Brandon. And it's the fact that I, growing up, had such an idealized version of what a man is supposed to be. And watching that show kind of made me go the other direction and be like, I don't want to be like Ozai. I want to be like Iroh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like that's when I kind of took a step back and was like because I was kind of a bad kid in high school, but I like took a step back and I watched what I was saying, what I was doing, and then I was like, why would I want to be Ozai when Iroh is so much cooler, And
Fuck yeah.
that kind of turned that like idea on me. So that's kind of what I want to do with Brandon, which is why I kind of made him a little more dickish.
God, the world would be so much better if everyone just had to watch the entirety of Avatar.
Maybe go to
government
therapy like
mandate.
once or twice.
Alrighty, y'all. Is there anything we want to plug before we end up this episode?
No.
Yes, there is.
Yes,
okay.
there is.
If anyone's listening to this, and I know two of our patrons, hi Eddie and also my mom, I've already said this too. I found the best webtoon.
Oh God.
It's called Chasing Tales.
Hey,
It runs in the present and also the past, and also another past, but essentially it's about 9 kids that get stuck in a second level basement during a building collapse, and they get rescued 14 days later and only 6 of them are alive, and they're trying to piece together what happened to the 3 kids that didn't make it out. so good. If you like mysteries, if you like dark and spooky stuff, very dark, very spooky. Yeah, that's what I'm plugging.
Topical.
It's a little topical. Yeah.
Nah, I just want to always, like always, man. Thank you guys very much for listening.
Absolutely.
It means so much that you guys are even spending a little bit of your time, to listen to us. So I just always want to plug that in at the very end whenever we can.
The only thing I will say
You make me sound like an asshole.
Only thing I'm going to say is I'm going to encourage you patrons to abuse the heck out of some of the privileges we give you, like submitting extra credit questions, because I know we got to use one from Colin, aka the Stuttering GM,
The only
and it was
good
fantastic. Fuck off. And
Go Dragon Ball.
and also to submit questions that we can answer during this portion of our show in our post credit. Anything you have to ask about the show, about background information, about some of the lore, about questions about the characters, questions about us, questions about our lives, just anything you want to ask. I want to be able to open this up more like a conversation, less than a podcasting.
Yeah, I would love that. I would really love that.
We want to know what you want to know. Because, I can monologue for 45 minutes about the last 2 hours.
So can I.
Alrighty, y'all.
Jonah, you want to plug anything?
Nah, just thank everybody for listening once again. It's always a good time sharing this with everybody.
Yeah, Jonah looks like he's about to pass out.
I'm tired.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm Dustin.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Jonah.
The one and only Christian.
And this has been Making the Magic. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
Bye-bye.
I'm actually more spiritual.